Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we will be doing something that has never been attempted before in the history of 2028 politics. Yes, that is right. We are running a Hunger Games simulation featuring all the potential 2028 Democratic presidential candidates. If this is popular one and you guys like it, maybe we could do it with Republicans too. But we have many more potential Democrats right now than Republicans. So I figured let's do Democrats. It'll be way more exciting. So let's do it. So we have two what are they called? Two tributes from each district. District 1, the most well-known, the most wealthy people are going to come from, the most well-to-do, popular people are going to come from the first district. The you know, while the underdogs, the favorites will come from the first district, while the underdogs will come from districts 10, 11, 12 as you get further down. So in District 1, we have Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom. Don't think that should surprise anyone. Two top tier contenders for 2028. District 2, we have Tim Walz and Josh Shapiro, more favorites for the nomination. District 3, we have Cory Booker and Chris Murphy. In District 4, we have AOC and Pete Buttigieg. In District 5, we have J.B. Pritzker and Raphael Warnock. District 6 is Elizabeth Warren and John Fetterman. In 7 is Andy Bashir and Ruben Gallego. In 8 is Ro Khanna and John Ossoff. In 9 is Gretchen Whitmer and Jasmine Crockett. That'll be interesting, that team up. In 10 is Stephen A. Smith and Gina Raimondo. In 11 is Roy Cooper and Zoran Mamdani. And in District 12 is Jon Stewart and Dean Phillips. So let's go and let's run into this simulation. All right. As the tributes stand on their podiums, the horn sounds. Zoran and Gina Raimondo fight for a bag. Nice. Gina Raimondo gives up and retreats. No surprise there that Zoran, young, fit, at least relative to Gina Raimondo, wins that battle. Gavin Newsom finds a bag full of explosives. That doesn't surprise me. Tim Walz takes a sickle from inside the cornucopia. Wow, honestly, this is going deep here. Communist, right? A sickle, communist, Tim Walz. They call him the far leftist. Remember when the New York Post called him a communist when he was governor of Minnesota? Pete Buttigieg finds a bow, some arrows, and a quiver. A quiver is so like Pete Buttigieg. Cory Booker also finds a bag of explosives. So we have Newsom and Booker with bags of explosives. Murphy just grabs a backpack. Fetterman just runs away. That is so typical of John Fetterman. Somehow this simulation knows everything about each of these people. That is exactly what John Fetterman would do. Gretchen Whitmer also runs away. Jasmine Crockett runs away. Andy Bashir grabs a sword. That surprises me coming from someone like Bashir. Josh Shapiro overpowers John Ossoff, killing him. Wow. That is insane. A major, major favorite for 2028. John Ossoff, already gone. Two favorites, really, in a battle. Stephen A. Smith and J.B. Pritzker fight for a bag. Stephen A. Smith gives up and retreats. Why would he even start that battle with J.B. Pritzker? Why would he even start that? Harris runs away, no surprise. AOC runs away. Ro Khanna runs away. Roy Cooper grabs a sword. Jon Stewart runs away. Very smart from Jon Stewart. Now, Jon Stewart is very, very short. You wouldn't notice it from his show because he's always sitting, but he is very, very short. So that's a good move from Jon Stewart. That's the strategy he needs. Raphael Warnock sets off an explosive, killing Dean Phillips and Ruben Gallego. Wow. So Dean Phillips from District 12 and Ruben Gallego from District, 8 or something like that? 8, 9? Already gone. Good move from Raphael Warnock. Gotta give him props there. And then Elizabeth Warren runs away. That's smart given her age. She doesn't want to get into any conflicts. So let's proceed. So this is still day 1. So this is after the whole cornucopia thing. They are now, it's later in the day now. So AOC is going to camouflage herself in the bushes, while Gina Raimondo searches for firewood. John Fetterman constructs a shack. We'll see how that goes. Jon Stewart tries to sleep through the entire day. Okay, he is just hating life in the arena right now. He does not want to be there. Roy Cooper tries to sleep as well. They need to team up or something because they need to start a depressed caucus because that could prove powerful if they want to sleep. That team. JB Pritzker goes hunting. He needs his food. Let's be honest. JB Pritzker, he needs some sustenance in his body immediately. So that is smart. And JB Pritzker goes hunting. Gavin Newsom steals from Cory Booker. Okay. Stephen A. Smith collects fruit from a tree. That is interesting given his size. He must have climbed up the tree. Oh no! Zoran Mamdani is pricked by thorns while picking berries. That is disappointing. I'm personally rooting for Zoran, if you can't tell. Chris Murphy, wow, Chris Murphy begs for Andy Bashir to kill him. He refuses. That is so like Bashir. He refuses keeping Chris Murphy alive. What? So yeah, this depressed caucus really needs to start something here because they apparently have a major mental health problem inside the arena or the cornucopia, whatever it's called. So they really need to start some alliance or something here immediately because that could be, based off the size of how many people just want to die here or sleep. That could be a pretty powerful caucus. P also camouflages himself. Warnock constructs a shack. Tim Walz goes hunting. Well, we have a major development here. Gretchen Whitmer, Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, and Ro Khanna, all four of them in an insane alliance, raid Josh Shapiro's camp while he is hunting. My God, poor Josh Shapiro. This is the alliance of the century, all just going after Josh Shapiro. Jasmine Crockett dies of dysentery. There she goes. I'm sorry for the Jasmine Crockett fans. I bet we had a lot of them here, but she is done. So this is the end of day one, and we have had 4 casualties. John Ossoff, early on by Josh Shapiro. Dean Phillips, Ruben Gallego of District 7, that is, and Jasmine Crockett of District 9. Let's see everyone's status here. So Shapiro has 1 kill. Look at that. Raphael Warnock has 2 kills already. He is one to watch going forward. District 7 still alive. District 8 still alive. So every district is still alive. They still have at least 1 person. But look at these top districts. Look. District 1 through 6, all of them haven't had a single casualty. You can already see, how big of a difference coming from a top district means. So let's go ahead and proceed. So it is now night 1. Wow, okay. Pete Buttigieg stabs Gina Raimondo in the back with a trident. A brutal way to go. But honestly, not even surprising. Coming from Pete Buttigieg. Zoran Mamdani sets up camp from that. Okay, why do we need to know that? Everyone is going to set up camp, obviously. But, honestly, for Zoran, it is good to know that our boy is safe. AOC repeatedly stabs Cory Booker to death with a, what is that? Sace? I have no idea what that is. Wow. So she is going brutal now. Roy Cooper, relatively old man. That is just brutal coming from AOC. Going after people, these senior citizens. But not surprising, she's got to get out of the arena alive. Jon Stewart goes to sleep, okay. JB Pritzker and Chris Murphy tell stories about themselves to each other. That is so nice, Different jobs, right? JB Pritzker, governor from the Midwest. Chris Murphy, my senator from Connecticut. In Congress in Washington. From Connecticut, the Northeast. Very different jobs. And you know what? It's good to tell stories about themselves to each other. So that's an alliance to watch going forward. And look at that. How does the simulation know? Tim Walz and Kamala Harris, the ticket from 2024, they hold hands. How sweet is that? Raphael Warnock is unable to convince Gretchen Whitmer not to kill him. Okay, does that mean that Raphael Warnock is dead? Because I think so, but that's just one weird way of putting it. Cory Booker receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Okay. Shapiro, Fetterman, Smith, Kana, and Bashir sleep in shifts. 5-way alliance there. That's interesting. All men too. So that they're getting the most powerful here. Newsom destroys Warren's supplies while she's asleep. Okay, what's even the point? Newsom, he's just evil like that. Day 2 now. JB Pritzker makes a wooden spear. Thank you, JB. That's interesting. Whitmer receives medical supplies. Shapiro and Wall. Oh, okay. Shapiro spears Tim Walz in the abdomen. No. So it looks like Tim Walz may be done unless he gets some emergency medical supplies where he's able to survive. But it does look like America's favorite governor, Tim Walz, is out of the running. Zoran Mamdani sees smoke rising in the distance. Oh, you know what that means if it's the movie, but decides not to investigate. Okay, he's choosing the peaceful route. Elizabeth Warren dies of dysentery. All right. Did we really expect her to last long? No. Buttigieg receives food. Ro Khanna unknowingly eats toxic berries. Oh no. Ro Khanna, just like that, is out. Jon Stewart Fishers, thank you for the update on Jon Stewart. That's very helpful. Andy Bashir explores. Stephen A. Smith constructs. Cory Booker sets off another explosive. Wasn't he the guy who set off the first explosive? No, that was Raphael Warnock. Now I'm being racist. Killing, equating the two. Killing John Fetterman and Gavin Newsom, two huge figures. Newsom is from District 1, and he is out by Cory Booker. That is a double kill. Absolutely insane by Cory Booker. John Fetterman, he's a big one too. With his build, that's insane. And then AOC continues her spree of brutality, stabbing Chris Murphy from District 3 in the back with a trident. Now Cory Booker is left without a partner. Kamala Harris tries to spearfish with a trident. So we have had 9 casualties. So many casualties on day 2. Gina Raimondo from District 10, Roy Cooper from 11, Warnock from 5, Walz from 2, that's devastating, Warren from 6, Khanna from 8, Fetterman from 6, so 6 is completely done just like that, and then Newsom from 1, Murphy from 3. Those last 2 are really, really stunning. So now we have had some major casualties on the top end of the districts. District 1, only Harris remains. District 2 is still in with Shapiro. 3 is still in with Booker. 4 is completely in with AOC and Pete Buttigieg. They're doing very well with 3 kills total. District 5, Pritzker hangs on, but he doesn't even have any kills. 7, Bashir hangs on. 8 is completely out, Khanna and Ossoff. 9 is in with Whitmer. 10 is in with Stephen A. Smith. 11 is in with Zoran Mamdani. And 12 is in with Jon Stewart. The bottom districts, they are hanging on still. They've definitely equaled the playing field when compared to the top districts. So let's proceed to night 2. Stephen A. Smith begs for Pete Buttigieg to kill him. So he's joining the depressed caucus. He refuses, killing Stephen A. Smith, or keeping Stephen A. Smith alive. Come on, Pete. Come on. We do not need Stephen A. Smith still in the game. AOC attempts to start a fire, but is unsuccessful. Andy Bashir screams for help. Screams. That's not really smart in a game like this. Jon Stewart sees a fire, but stays hidden. Smart. Gretchen Whitmer stabs Josh Shapiro in the back with a trident. Now that's shocking, because if you know anything about politics, you know that these two are closely aligned. Midwestern governors, basically bordering if you didn't have the lake. That's shocking, and I bet Shapiro did not see that coming. And that means that District 2 is completely out, because wasn't it Shapiro and Walz? I think it was Shapiro and Walz. So it looks like District 2 is completely out. JB Pritzker and Zoran Mamdani are teaming up, sleeping in shifts. Cory Booker sets up camp. Harris receives medical supplies. Day 3, Jon Stewart makes a slingshot. So smart. Jon Stewart has not teamed up with anyone. He is playing his own game, but hey, that might be smart. Oh my God, you gotta be joking. Swear to God. Cory Booker sets an explosive off, killing AOC and Zoran Mamdani. Two of my top three people, the other being Jon Stewart. You cannot be serious. Cory Booker, I will never forgive you. What are we going to do without Zoran and AOC? They were the only ones keeping this thing fun. Oh my God. P discovers a cave. Harris constructs shack. Bashir steals from Pritzker. Come on. Let JB keep his stuff. Smith and Whitmer work together for a day. Oh, that is devastating. Shapiro gone. That's fine. But AOC and Zoran Mamdani. Oh. So let's check the status of everyone. You've got District 1 where Harris is still alive, 2 completely out, 3 Booker alive. He's got 4 kills, that's insane. Buttigieg alive in 4. Pritzker alive in 5. District 7, Andy Bashir. 8 out, 9 Whitmer in, 10 Smith still in, 11 is now completely out without Zoran. And then 12, Jon Stewart is still alive. Night 3, Andy Bashir is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. That is very sad. Okay, Kamala Harris pushes Gretchen Whitmer off a cliff during a knife fight. That's Harris's first kill. She's finally starting to get some action. That's so sweet. Buttigieg and Smith hold hands. Booker tends to J.B. Pritzker's wounds. Wow, after just killing Mamdani and AOC, that is quite a move. To the also leftist J.B. Pritzker. Okay, nice Jon Stewart. Now my third favorite is out. Jon Stewart has eaten toxic berries. He is now done. Great. So now we have basically no one good left. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute's families. Cory Booker decides not to go. Buttigieg decides not to go, and Bashir decides not to go. Pritzker attacks Stephen A. Smith. So this is at the cornucopia here. Pritzker attacks Stephen A. Smith, but Harris protects him, killing J.B. Pritzker instead. Wow. Oh my God. My favorite now of the remaining people is out. Okay, now there's actually no one good left. Day 4, Buttigieg stalks Andy Bashir. Okay. Stephen A. Yeah, the whole, okay. Keeping Stephen A. Smith alive. And Harris discovers a river. So 3 cannon shots can be heard because 3 died. Gretchen Whitmer from District 9, Jon Stewart from District 12, and J.B. Pritzker from District 5. This is absolutely awful. So the people, oh my God, we have 5 people left. Harris from 1, Booker from 3, Buttigieg from 4, Bashir from 7, and Stephen A. Smith from 10. Absolutely awful choices. Andy Bashir by far the best out of these 4, though. But our odds of someone or our odds of someone awful winning are quite high, 3 out of 4. Harris, Booker, and Smith, I absolutely hate every single one of them. Bashir would be nice to see win, though. All right, Bashir sets up camp. Booker convinces Buttigieg to snuggle with him. Good job, Booker. And then Harris destroys Smith's supplies. Bashir goes hunting. This is day 5. Booker questions his sanity. Good. Smith practices his archery. Yeah, questions his sanity and why he's taking tens of thousands at least, probably hundreds of thousands from APAC. Buttigieg injures himself. All right, I don't know if that's intentional or not. And Harris is pricked by thorns. The arena's borders begins to rapidly contract. Buttigieg survives. Yes. Stephen A. Smith is out electrocuted by the border. Bashir's chances go up. Oh my God. Kamala Harris is electrocuted by the border. 2 are out. 2 remain. It is now it is now Andy Bashir versus Pete Buttigieg. Sorry, 3 remain. Oh my God. Andy Bashir, Pete Buttigieg, Cory Booker. Yes, Andy Bashir restrains Cory Booker to a tree and leaves him to die. Cory Booker is out. We have 2 left. We have 2 left. It is Pete Buttigieg from District 4 and Andy Beshear from District 7. It all comes down to this. Oh my God. Oh, let's go. Night 5. Andy Beshear wins. Wow, our chances did not look good, but Andy Beshear pulls it off. Spears Pete Buttigieg in the abdomen. The winner is Andy Beshear from District 7. We will take that. Good job, Andy Beshear. Oh, good, we have placements. All right, John Ossoff got last. Dean Phillips got second to last. That's hilarious. So Tim Walz did not live up to expectations. Fetterman did not, given his size. But the good people on the general side actually did pretty well. Beshear did well, Pritzker did well, Stewart and Mamdani and AOC all did well. Those were the best ones. And Tim Walz. They all did pretty good. So congrats, Andy Beshear. And that was 2028 Hunger Games.